All right, my friends, welcome back to Breaking Bricks. Guess what? We are in a new build season. This is build season 8, and this is the supply outpost on Anxais. You know, this was seen in Clone Wars season 7. I do believe it's the first episode called The Bad Batch. The introduction of the Bad Batch. They come to the base, you kind of see at the beginning, really briefly, you get more details inside than you do outside. But, you know, I can't really judge from what I have. I've got enough of the base to be able to build a great looking base. But I don't know what's on the outside. I don't know what's underneath it. I don't know anything. But because it's the Clone Wars, a cartoon series, I get to ad-lib on that a little bit and add to what I think the military is going to look like there at that outpost. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this build season. I want to add a subway system because, you know, how else are you going to run troops and supplies from one spot to another? You know, during the episode, they're getting attacked by the CIS in different locations. So, you know, subway would make a great way of travel. On top of that, you know, there's a lot to do. Lego has really been generous with what they've been giving us in the Clone Wars. Any type of clone set, you know, this year is going to be no exception from what I hear in the rumor department. I hope they're true. I really want to get some of those. I still got the ARC 170. I still got to get that together. I'd like to get another 1 or 3 more of those, depending on what happens in the future. Time will tell. But I am hoping to have at least 1 more for this build. So, without further ado, we have to start from the beginning, so let's just get right into it. Well, my friends, you know, this is where it all begins. The very beginning. You know, I've already got over 1,000 pieces on this table, and we haven't even started. But anyway, I did find out what was wrong with my smoke machine. I lost it at Brickfest halfway through, and it turned out the pump turned into crap, and quit pumping the fluid into the igniter, and oh well. So we do have a new smoke machine here. This came this morning actually, and what I'm planning on building here today, we're going to start that. This is episode 1, by the way, plus our announcement video. So this is where I'm planning on putting it within this build and how I intend on using the smoke machine. I also have been having an issue with AA and AAA batteries lately, and rather than just constantly changing them out and buying new ones, I also decided to go with a rechargeable type of set. I figured this way I can just charge them, and then when I've got enough of them, you know, I'm done buying batteries. So that will be a solution to that problem. So of course we're going to add motors to this build. Lots of LED lights, some control switches for those LED lights, as well as the smoke machine. So we got 3 elements that we're going in. You know, I really look forward to doing it. This is going to be a much bigger build. And this is going to Columbus here. Possibly Cleveland. We're still trying to work out those details, but anyway, we are building in Anxais. This is the clone supply outpost. I can't wait to build this. You know, we had talked about what we were going to build, and you know, you see a lot in that episode. It's from the episode called The Bad Batch, Clone Wars season 7. My second build in a row from the Clone Wars, and in particular that season, as a matter of fact. The bridge came off very, very well. I loved doing that battle. It was great. I already miss it. But this should be spectacular. I'm hoping to get a lot of clones into this. This, in a way, will be my, I guess, my love letter to my Clone Wars 2025 update, I guess. Because, you know, Lego is definitely loving us again this year with some Clone Wars sets compared to rumors. I can't wait to get my hands on them. The ARC 70 is already out. Ahsoka, her Jedi ship is out. I don't have that yet, but I will get it. And yeah, hopefully we get that tank that I've been talking about. You know, it has never been released. I can't wait to get it. But anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get to work on this, and I'm going to explain what I'm doing in commentary. So let's just get to it.
Alright, so right off the ripper, we're going to go ahead and get our 18 different base plates and get them in a grouping of 9. So 2 per section. Makes it easy to go in and out of the doorway. Makes it a little easy for carrying. I can put it into a car, a truck, and it should slide together with some tabs in the end and lock together in place. I also chose these sections simply because of the simple fact that all the cracks will line up with the track, and I should be able to break it apart all simultaneously as one. The only part that I worry about is when I need to take it apart, will it come apart easily? But I've got a plan in place, at least I have a thought in place in my head on how to put it together, how to take it apart. Building something of this size can be a little intimidating at times. I have one thought in the back of my head the entire time. Will I have enough brick to pull this off? One thing I have to think about as I put this together is where I'm going to have my power wire running out for the smoke machine, as well as the wire for the LED lights. Now, this being the first time of me working with a train track, I also have to keep in mind that if I want motor functions, I need to start thinking about where those battery packs are going to go now, because obviously we don't want any of that being in the way of the train. So it's time to set up each section with its own power box. I equipped that power box with a wire to the next section, and right where the plates combine, I have a disconnect switch. That's how I'll be able to plug up each section. Nine sections, 9 boxes, 9 wires. That's just to get started. Now it's time to lock down the track. As I'm thinking about locking down the track, I'm going to have it pinned down, tacked down to the board directly in certain places. In other places, I'm going to use tile underneath so it's flexible, so I can use it to adjust it and use it to take it apart. It will not hinder the train in any way. Now I'll be able to run wire under the track without it being in the way.
Well, my friends, we've taken it as far as we can take it this week. I've just run out of time, and we're just getting started, really. So let's go ahead and take an up-close look at what we got done and pretty much why. All right, so here we got our track. Now this is going to run my subway, because they got to be able to move troops and goods through the base, and they have different locations within this planet. This would probably be a good way. You don't see it, but this is one of those things you can add. And this base is going to be about 9 inches thick. Now we're getting to the area where I still have to get this tacked down. Now overall, if you've noticed, wherever I have a breaking point, which is right here, the track is loose. It's not tacked down here. It's sticking up where it's tacked down here. And then the only other place it's not completely tacked down is here in the curves. I've got to have a little bit of give, simply because when I take this apart, this snaps together and comes apart. I should be able to pull the side plates off of here once they're on, and then be able to use my fingers if need be, but I should be able to pull it apart and snap it back together, theoretically. But we don't have a whole lot of the track left, as you can see, to go. And of course, we've got our 9 sections out of 18 plates. It's going to separate into 9 different pieces. And we have our wiring. All right, so this is where I get to plug in my lights, power to the smoker. And each plate has its own independent connection. As you can see, this is where it separates right here. It took me a while to get all this together to be able to do this, and it just keeps going around the table. 9 different sections, and then the last section here right next to where it begins. And of course my battery box for the lights if I need it. I can run those off a 110, but most of the time I run it off the battery. And then we've got our smoke machine here waiting to go, and remotes for our motors. Now as you can see over here, I've already got this one in place. This will be for a turret gun that'll be by the wall. Now I think the corner is going to be the best place for the battery pack here, simply because if I need to access it, change the batteries out and recharge those, I can do that without interfering with the track of the train. It actually runs right up underneath there, as you can see. And then another separation point here. So in the following days, we're going to continue on with that track. We're going to get that finished up. That shouldn't take too much longer. We're going to start getting the edge of this together, and then we are going to start getting our depth in. We also have placement of where I want to put things and how they're going to go in on the upper surface. I have to keep that in mind as I put everything in here, because like I said, I know I'm going to have a turret gun here. It's going to be up this high. It's going to be on a big thing, and this the power wire for it, and another one over there. Once again, you have to run all that stuff. Now is the best time, because trying to come back through here and put it in later on isn't exactly easy. I've done it a million times where I've had to rebuild stuff. That's why I like to try to get it in here. So you do have to put in a bit of thought before you build it this size. But anyway, my friends, if you like what you saw here today, go ahead and hit that like button. It lets me know I've done a good job, and it helps the algorithm suggest this kind of a video to anybody that might be into this kind of content. And of course, if you got a good idea for a build, maybe something that you want to see in this build, go ahead and put that down in the comments below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And we cannot grow here as a family unless you hit that subscribe button. It takes you a mere half a second, but for me, it does mean an awful lot. I can't grow without it. Otherwise, I'll see you here next week on Breaking Bricks.